Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is decimals, and we're going to cover a little bit about how decimals relate to fractions. So decimals are like fractions in the fact that they're a way to represent parts of a whole, okay? And decimals are numbers written with a decimal point. For example, 9.56, 16.007, 0.4, which is also read 4/10, right? These are examples of decimals. And I find it really helpful sometimes when I'm thinking about decimals to think about money, okay? Because that's the only time, that's the most common time that we have to deal with decimals. So first thing I want us to talk about is our base 10 number system. Our number system is called the decimal system, right? Dec is a prefix for 10. We talked about that in one of my classes. I know we did, right? So also, for example, a decade is a span of 10 years. A decathlon is a 10-event spectacle. And this is really a spectacle. I don't think I could do all of this, you know? Maybe I could run 100 meters, but I wouldn't call it a dash. So we have a base 10 system, and our number has 10 possible digits. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But what happens when I hit 10? Well, when I hit 10, I combined 2 digits. Our number system is also a place value system. What does that mean? Well, this is because the value of a digit depends on its position in order. So for example, 284 and 482 have the same digits, but these two numbers have different values because the numbers are in a different order. You know, you can think of it as I'd rather have $482 than 284. That's going to be true. So to say where a digit is, we refer to its place value. So for whole numbers, we've got the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands place, and so on. When it comes to the right of our decimal point, they represent pieces of a whole, right? We've got tenths. You'll see that TH. You know how when I pronounce fractions, I say 7/8, 4/16. That THS denotes that it's part of something. So I've got hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, and so on. So these are our different place values. So the real question is, what if I have a quarter of an apple and I want to write that as a decimal? Well, you're going to be like, okay, Miss Miller, that's silly, right? A quarter is 0.25, 25 cents. That's how we'd write 0.25 of a quarter. But what about 235 hundredths of an apple? Sorry, thousandths of an apple. Well, that would be 0.235. And you can find that by punching it into your calculator because we get decimals from division. Okay? So we have a bigger place value on the left than on the right. So always keep track of your decimal point, and you don't have to put these floating placeholder zeros in front unless you want to. So let's go ahead and say these decimals and write them. So this would be 3 and that and denotes the decimal. So this is 3 and 45 hundredths, right? We could say the last place out loud. This is 3 and 45 hundredths. Now I have just a decimal. I wouldn't say 0 and our decimal part. I'm just going to say 300. I can't spell. 300 and 300, no and, 56 thousandths, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, tens, hundreds, thousands. So we have 356 thousandths. Last but not least, we have -2, because decimals can be negative, right? We have -2 And that and denotes our decimal place. I've got 3 hundredths. So now that we know how to write these, which is really important for when I'm talking quickly in class for you to comprehend a little bit better what's going on, how would I write number 4? I've got 1 and 6 thousandths. Now that tells me the place in. So thousandths is 3 in. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 1, 2, 3. And then look at it again and make sure you translated it right. I've got 1 and 6 thousandths. So this is 233 and 7 tenths. Tenths is the first one, so we're just going to have 0.7.